cloud. All right. So as we kick off today, I want to focus in on 3 points to start with. When we talk about selling three solutions, and we really most of the business, there's only two or three things that we do, right? We're going to harp on that in just a couple minutes, but let's start off with the state of mind, a state of strength, and a state of heart. Because as we go forward, all of the pieces that we're going to touch on all come back to this. What's your state of mind? Your state of mind will dictate what comes out. The reality that you perceive, the opportunities you go for, and then supporting that is the state of strength. How strong is your resolve? How strong are you, both physically and mentally, to be able to maintain that daily grind to achieve your goals? And lastly, a state of heart where, look, a lot of people, a lot of people give up in the 11th hour because, well, it's been 11 hours, right, of trying, and they just fall short in that last little bit. What can we do? What can we say? How can we be an encouragement to you to go all the way? I felt like on one of the past presentations, I really wanted to have that little Yoda meme that's out there. Do not try, right? We want to make sure that there is no try. We either do it or we don't, and that really needs to be the state of our heart. Are we going to give it 150%, or are we just going to give it 75? Now, I'm here to give you 100 and 110% of whatever I have. Clayton's here right alongside me, giving everything we've got to invest in you as the agents with education, with resources, tools, opportunities. We only make money when you make money. So it makes perfect sense to us that our investment should be in you. Okay. I've heard this said before, and I just wanted to bring it up because it really struck a chord with me. It's never easy to hear this or to believe it, but it's completely true. But you are what you are, where you are, because of what's going into your mind. What are you allowing to come in? What kind of thoughts? People, what are they saying about you? What are they saying about your abilities? Are you letting other things define who and what you are and how you believe you're being perceived? The good news is that every single one of us we can change. Or we could say we could all grow. So you can change what you are, you can change where you are, and you can change it all by changing what goes into your mind. Really, truly, this simple. The scriptures say it's not what goes into the man that pollutes the man, but what comes out from him. And that is so true here. What kind of things are you allowing to pollute you, right? To affect you? What are other people saying that affects you? Let's talk about that a little bit more. Who are you learning from? This really plays into who are you working with? Some of you, we have the privilege of getting all of your business. Some of you, we have the privilege of getting some of your business. That's okay. But who are you working with? What is it that they're providing to you that's helping you achieve your success? That should always be a question, even for working with us. If we're not providing you the services, the tools, the encouragement that you need, let us know. Please let us know. So, who are you learning from? Are they successful? Are they masters in their craft? Are they amateurs? Or are they desk jockeys that all they've ever done is sit behind a desk and they've never actually gone out and sold anything? Are they organizations, individuals who are still sitting behind a desk working a 9 to 5 job telling you how to run your life? Are you still working a 9 to 5 job on the side of trying to sell life insurance and to be a financial professional? The people that you surround yourself with create that identity. We just talked about that. The things that you let in define who you are. Are you taking responsibility for where you are today? And this really struck me this last week, is just making sure that I'm always checking, am I taking responsibility for where I am today? Choices that I've made that are either good or bad that have led to exactly where I stand here, the end of February, looking back and going, man, January was long. February was even longer. But I'm proud. I am proud of all the things that I was a part of in this organization and in February, and especially, January was good, but February was just fantastic because we really started implementing all the pieces that we have been building for the last year. And I'm so happy to be a part of this. What are the results of your current position? So as you're looking at your perspective here, those of you started with us in January, and your goals, how are you doing? Have you done another glance and see, okay, am I hitting my goals yet? How far behind am I? Is your current position, what do you need to change? What do you need to change? Listen, I believe that positive thinking will get you nowhere. It's the positive activities that will get you everywhere. Okay. You can feel good about things and still not do a darn thing. I mean, how many clients have you made feel good about solutions that you've brought to the table and they still don't sign on the dotted line? Anybody? All right. So it's not the emotional hype that I'm after. I'm after, what's it going to take to motivate you to do? And let's talk about this for just a minute. And this is why I love being on these calls and talking with you, why Clayton and I enjoy the conversations, getting to know each and every one of you, to know the road less traveled, to know the story behind each and every one of you. I'm going to just share a little bit about my journey, right? My journey started, I was actually, I was doing some agricultural work and working at a homeless shelter, doing some other things in my life. And my dad said, why don't you come work with me in finance? And I was like, all right, I'll do it. He said, I'm going to start you off the old fashioned way. We're going to do it the way I was taught. I said, okay. So literally for the first 2 years of my life, I literally bought leads, little cards, went out, knocked on doors, chased by dogs, worked in the projects. I earned my way to talking to people. Okay. I did it. This wasn't just sitting back behind a desk calling people. I went door knocking.
Mm-hmm.
I cold called for 5 days a week for 5 years straight. That's why I have the skill sets that I have, because I put the hours in. Okay. There's no easy, there's no easy path to earning those skill sets on cold calling. So my respect goes out to every single one of you who do that on a daily basis, because it is a skill and you have to keep it up. Otherwise you lose it. Okay. So I appreciate everybody that's out there doing that on a daily basis. I literally, for the better chunk of my career, I was getting up at 3 a.m., driving 3 hours one way to go meet prospects in the 403B sector down in South Florida in the Sarasota, Bradenton area. So I would drive through Tampa Bay. I had to beat all the traffic, which is why I had to get up that early. And I would do that for one or two clients. Now, did I make money doing that? Yes, I did. I didn't make less than $350,000 a year doing that. So I made some good money every single year. Okay. Driving down and doing that. But that was a grind. That was a hard thing to do what nobody else would do, to drive 3 hours one way to meet a client. But I was willing to do what was hard, and that created the character and that created the person of who I am today. Listening to financial news for 6 hours a day while I was driving. You want to know why I know all the stuff I know? Because I listened. I listened to 3 to 6 sales pitches a day when I was working with my father side by side. 3 to 6 sales pitches a day, 3 days a week. Thousands, thousands of closes, thousands of sales pitches. I paid, how many of you ever heard of Brett Kitchen, Ethan and Brett Kitchen? Remember those guys, the Elite Advisor program, right? Everybody got that email. I know everybody did, right? If you were
Yep.
in the business a while. Hey, I did their program. I spent $5,000 a month to be in that program. Did I break even? I did. Did I learn a lot? Incredible amount of information. Okay. Was it worth it to me? Yes, because of the knowledge that I gained. Not necessarily the profit margins, but the knowledge that I gained. Would I do it again? No, because I found better ways to do things. But the point is, I was willing to invest $5,000 a month in myself to gain the knowledge and the opportunities. What are you willing to invest in yourself? Learning virtually. It took me a good, well, this is probably the last 5 years that I've been working. I've been working virtual appointments. Okay. Going back just a little bit before COVID happened, we started launching our virtual appointments with the federal employees, literally taking 30 appointments a month, doing all virtual sales. After COVID, it got a whole lot easier. I'll just put it that way. But I learned. I learned because I did 30 appointments a month. And um, the last part, training agents for the process. I was privileged to be a part of the organization that started a lot of the 403B preset appointments. The company that precursed LG4, right? They're business owners. I worked with Jerry, and they actually had me teaching their agents selling 403Bs. So I had the privilege of being put in a position to teach. So I had to learn all the material that I teach today, things that I know about today, are because I was put in a position where I had to grow. I had to learn. It was not easy. There is no easy track. There was no AI to do all the work for me. The presentations, the materials, I had to earn it. I've seen thousands of sales and thousands of fails. And why is this important? Now, I'm not boasting here. Okay. I want to be very clear. Not. I want you to know my story. Just like we get the privilege of learning all your stories, I'm sure some of you have very similar messages, very similar stories and paths that you've walked. But it comes down to this: there's 168 hours in every week. How are you spending the time? How do you turn dreams into realities? How many hours are you working? It's you versus your excuses. That is what you're up against. You versus your excuses, your goals, your dreams. What's keeping them from becoming a reality is not Clayton. It's not me. It's not even the clients. It's the excuses that you're allowing to dictate your time. Time is the one thing we can't get more of. It's very, very valuable. I want to have the money so I can spend the time the way that I want to spend my time. I'm not there yet. I'm still building. I'm still doing. But that means that every single hour needs to be accounted for and how I'm spending it. And I want to encourage the same thing for you. Take time, follow a process, steps, results. That's how you create systems that bring results and bring you guaranteed income by having a whole process, a system that you can repeat time after time after time. Robotic responses, right? That's like when they train for special forces, or they train people to have instantaneous responses. It's the same thing here. The top 3% of insurance agents make over $250,000 in this industry, in this country. The median annual wage for insurance sales agents was 60,370 in May 2024. That's the last time there was an update. The median wage is the wage which half the workers in the occupation earn more than the amount, and half earn less. The lowest, obviously, is a little over 30,000. The highest, 10% earned more than $135,660 per year. So where are you at in that schedule? Where are you at on that scale? Are you in the 10%? Are you in the 80%? Are you above that? There are over 500,000 insurance agents nationwide in the life insurance arena. The top 10% earn more than $135,000 a year. That means the top 54,760 agents, that's what they're earning. Top 3% make more than $250,000 a year. That means less than 16,000 agents. Top 1% make more than $500,000 a year. less than 5,000 agents. Excuse me, less than 6,000 agents nationwide. The bottom 80 make under 65,000. Now, I'm listen, if you're just brand new to this industry, there's nothing wrong with where that number is today. But the question is that where you want to leave the number? Or do you have a goal? Do you have a dream that you want to make it a reality? How are you going to get there? We have to reverse engineer the math to figure out how many closes do I need? What kind of product should I be selling? And this is the most important part that a lot of people get confused on. Listen, you could sell 10,000 cases that all bring in $100 to make $1 million, right? Or you could sell 100 cases that make $10,000 and bring in $1 million. Which would you rather do? Let's find a way to amplify our time. So I want everybody to really think hard about the opportunities you're working, the numbers that you're bringing in, the results from the sales opportunities you're seeing. This industry changes. It shifts and morphs every 10 years. It's changed from where it was 10 years ago. Would you agree with that, Clayton?
Absolutely, I'd agree with that.
Tom, you probably one of the longest working insurance agents on the call here today. Has this industry shifted from when you first started?
It's unbelievable. You know,
The trends change, people. The trends change. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result is the definition of what?
insanity.
Mhm.
Let us stop the insanity, be different, embrace the opportunities before us, and make sure that every hour of the day that we're spending is being spent on the right solutions, the right products, the right opportunities that are bringing us the money we need to achieve our goals. Don't be product agnostic. Don't be stuck on, well, I only sell final expense or I only sell mortgage term insurance. Okay, how hard is it for you to do the same thing year in, year after year after year after year? How hard is it for you to keep doing that every year? And you got to work a little harder every year because of inflation. Work smarter, not harder. Listen, this is the most important rule that I've learned this week. Wherever money moves, information follows. How many of you have ever heard that before? Okay.
Sounds good.
Well, it is. It's very important. So the question is, where are your sources of information? Where are your sources of information? Where do you go to find out what's going on? Where do you go to find out what's going on financially? What's going on in your local community? What's going on in the insurance world? How can you plug in as a source of information? That's critical. How do you plug in as a source of information? Do people see you as a source of information? Do people see you as just a salesperson rather than an information source? Because wherever we could turn this on its head here, wherever information goes, money is either before it or right behind it, right?
Yep.
Where are your skills valued? That's critical. Where are your skills valued? Are your skills as a estate planning professional valued? Is that what people see you as? And they really are like, hey, they keep bringing you to that opportunity because that's what they value. You're good at it. That's your competitive advantage. Or are they coming to you asking you, hey, can you help me with my retirement funds? Because that's what you're good at. That's where the skill and the value is. Are you a producer of information or just a consumer of information? Every single one of us on here should be expanding our craft on a daily basis, engaging in learning to make yourself brighter, sharper, better than you were the day before. But without doing it, many of us become strictly consumers and not producers. We start talking about producing information. How many of you have done a short little blog or video on YouTube ever? How many of
I
you?
don't see a lot of hands.
I don't either. There's not a lot of cameras on today. I want to ask, how many of you have ever had a coffee shop conversation with people that you know about the knowledge and skills that you have?
Just
When
had
was the
one.
last time you sat down? Good. I'm glad everybody whose camera is on is responding. Thank you. That's good. That's what you need to be, a producer of information. What is your time and information worth? This is very important. Sometimes we get into conversations with people and they become saps to our time, which is the thing that we can't ever have more of.
Mm.
Is it worth those ongoing conversations? Is it worth that ongoing drain on your time? What's it worth? Right? Are you creating a network of people that give referrals because you give such great information? I've got a lot of people that give referrals for my business on the federal employee side and some other arenas as well. Why? Because they know I give good information. And lastly, money's going to flow where information flows. And that's why it's critical for all of us to become masters in the art of communication. Many of you on here have been married or are currently married, right? How long did it take you to figure out the communication differences between you and your spouse? That when you say sure or maybe, that it doesn't mean a whole different thing, a whole nother vocabulary going on there in that personal or family dynamic.
Still learning.
Listen, it is. It is. When you sit down with all of these clients, you are learning how to communicate with each and every one of them, taking advantage of known systems to help identify, taking shortcuts for identifying and being able to use the correct verbiage. How many of you have ever heard of the DISC personality profile? I highly encourage you, if you've never read anything about it, to do some reading on that system. It is a great system to rapidly identify personality types and then pitch to specific word or vocabulary usage in order to properly communicate with those people. What do they need to know? What do they need to hear? What do you need to avoid saying? Once again, it's not trickery, it's communication. We want to be masters of that. So when I say this retirement plan is going to do X, Y, and Z for you, they heard exactly what I meant for them to hear. That's critical because that's where not only the money is going to flow, but the information, new clients, new opportunities, new paths forward. So your future is really, truly in your hand, right? It's all about following a plan without emotions. Now, 100% of all decisions are made emotionally. Everybody can agree with that, right? It's the emotions that actually drive the decision. But emotion doesn't get you up every morning. Nobody really feels like getting out of bed, right? Am I wrong?
Nope.
Nope.
Well, why do you get out of bed every day, Carl?
To know I'm still alive at my age.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Beth, why do you get out of bed every morning?
It's usually for the bathroom.
Truer words never spoken, right? All right. Clayton, why do you get up every morning?
I was going to say the same thing as Beth.
I get up in the morning because my kids are screaming, Mom, Dad, and they're waiting for us to begin the day of responsibilities, right? But I get up, and what's the first thing I do? If I can, I start listening to positive conversations, scripture, music, positive reinforcing thoughts into what's going into my day. Why? Because as I go into the day, my body's adjusting. The frequencies and the resonance, all the science behind this, you can do all kinds of fun research on this, is in the first 30 minutes of your day. When you wake up, your eyes open, that next 30 minutes is so critical to setting the emotional outlook for the rest of the day. And if you invest in yourself, if you invest in the right emotional outset, your responses the rest of the day will be so much better, so much better, so much more pleasant. And watch the difference in how people respond. Action is the foundation and the key to success. What are you doing? Not only about today, but tomorrow, right? A disciplined
It's gotta have a
producer,
routine.
yeah, have a routine. A disciplined producer is a successful producer because I've got a system that works and I'm not going to change it. I might modify it, right? But if I've got something that is working and I'm working less and less and I'm producing more and more, that's the key. Focus in on the probability of what's next. So I like to bring up the risk volatility, right? So when I'm trying to figure out my time, what's my time worth? How much do I spend on marketing? What am I doing here? I like to play a 5-to-1 rule. So you can be wrong 4 out of 5 times and still make money. If you can't do that in the current system that you are applying yourself into, you need to reevaluate that. If your cost for 5 leads is $500 and you don't sell 4 of them, that's $400 of cost, but you can sell one case and make $600 from the sale. You're profitable of $100, right? You're still ahead. Annuity leads cost $300 per lead, thereabouts. The minimum of 10 leads is $3,000. You have to sell how many annuities to make your money back? How many annuities? One. We're not asking for big numbers here. I'm not asking, oh, close 30%, 40% of your annuity business. No. Successful processes focus in on closing one and then refining and adjusting. Maybe you can close two. How can you communicate more efficiently? What can you tweak and improve to where the returns only increase? On a 10% close, right? 10 clients, to meet $250 per head, 2,500 total. The goal, one sale. So that's really our goal, 10%. Be a 10% closer, but have a system that you can repeat that all day long. This is where a lot of people, get stuck. They want to have these close 20%, 30% closing rates. Yeah, that's not realistic. And for most agents, it's truly not. Some people have that, they have that skill set. They're great communicators and more power to them. But for the average agent, how do we take a 10% closer and make money and make a lot of money? By setting manageable goals and setting good habits so that we can create repeatable situations, right? You put the money in, the sales come on the backside, you do the process again, rinse and repeat. I made money selling final expense. I made money selling mortgage term insurance, not because there was a lot of money to be made there, but because I repeated the process every single week, day in, day out, right? That was repeatable process. We can apply that to every aspect of the industry that we work in. Create a repeatable process. So we really want everybody here to become masters of your craft in the insurance arena and obviously in your lives as well. So let's talk about masters for a second here. There are 3 primary colors, right? Just like our 3 solutions. There are 3 primary colors, right? Anybody be able to identify the 3 primary colors?
I know them.
Okay.
Red, blue, yellow, I think.
Yeah, there you go. Now, with those 3 colors, think about the Sistine Chapel if you've ever seen it. I've had the privilege of seeing it in person. That's all from 3 colors, folks. That's all from 3 colors. 3 colors in the hand of a master is a masterpiece. There are only 7 musical notes out there, but think about your favorite music artist, that all the music that you enjoy, that uplifts you, Vivaldi, Bach, Beethoven. Think of the pieces that they wrote with 7 notes. It's the same 7 notes.
Yep.
There are only 10 digits, but think of the mathematical geniuses like Einstein and others and the realities that they changed and developed for us with 10 digits. What's the difference? They became masters of their craft. So let's talk about our craft. We're licensed here basically to sell 3 products. Now, there are some other ancillary products. Yes, there are. Not going to dispute that. But there are 3 basic products. We could define them if we wanted to. Some of those ancillary products really fall into term structure. Okay. But we sell term insurance, we sell permanent life insurance, and we sell annuities. How many solutions can you sell from these 3 products?
That's on.
Numerous.
A lot.
Let's talk about some of them. Here's just a few: level term, short term, long term, annual, annual term, key man, buy, sell, return a premium, decreasing term, additional term, adjustable term. I could go on and on. The focus of the term, coverage for a specified length of time. Historically, the first life insurance contract that was created back in the 1500s was life insurance on captains in their ships, written in London, okay, at the coffee house there. What I'm going to tell you, the first contract was a term for the length of the voyage, okay? Term's been around a long time, okay? It's not the
What's the
oldest.
name of the coffee house?
You would ask me right this second. I've got it in my notes.
Lloyd's.
There it is. There it is. Thank you. Thank you. There it is.
Lloyd's of London.
Yep. So AKA renting coverage for a period of time, offers a cheap solution for insurance coverage, convertible to permanent. Those are basic benefits of this. Now, look, we can change this into 1,000 different combinations of how it's applied. Permanent life insurance. What are the benefits? Lifelong coverage, investment aspect, dividends, limited payments, assigned collateral, safe growth. There's so many opportunities here within permanent insurance that we have, that we spin, that we define. Let's look at annuities. Annuities is the same boat. So many different ways to spend annuities. How many of you knew that you could write a 401k plan as an annuity? How many of you knew that you could write an IRA as an annuity? How many of you knew that you could write a 412E plan as an annuity? Or 457B plan, non-governmental plan, 401A plan, 409A plan, golden parachute plan, golden handcuff plan. These are all annuities. It doesn't matter how it's defined by the IRS code. It doesn't matter how it's defined by its name. The vehicle that it rolls on is still an annuity. Why is this critical? Because look, there's easily 27 tax codes and names for us to work with, over 54 solutions from 3 products that are easily identifiable, many more if we want to stretch it, that are easily achievable. Okay, between 127 to 150 when I actually sat down and spent the whole afternoon working the other day on this. About 150 different solutions from 3 products. 3 products. So out of these products, there are dozens of applications. How many of these solutions can you sell from 3 products? Well, we went over that. How many of them are you selling? How many of them are you selling? How many of you are only selling 1, maybe 2 solutions? You're selling maybe mortgage insurance and maybe a final expense. You're licensed to sell all the others, but why are you not? Information. Money follows, right? Information follows right behind money, right? Or money right behind information. There's good money in all those other arenas that you're licensed to sell. Why are you not selling them?
Nobody's presented it the way you have.
I appreciate that. This is why we're trying to encourage you to become masters. Mix and match, please. As long as it's compliant, as long as it's within the parameters, mix and match, please. Learn how to have 15, 16, 20 arrows in your quiver. When you sit down with a client, you can do all kinds of wonderful things with 3 products. Listen, we make money by serving people, right? We have a licensed tools, right? I'm able to sell. That's how I make my money. By serving their needs. I just understand how the products work, their limitations, so that when they have a problem, I can show them how the contracts that we offer can provide protection, certainty, and guarantees. It's my job and your job to communicate efficiently, effectively with the consumer in order for them to properly hear the contracts that you can offer, how they actually work, and that they're not just life insurance contracts. You're not just a life insurance salesperson. You're a financial professional. And I harp on that because I want people to see, understand that's truly what you must become. If you want to be in that top 10% in this industry, you want to be in that top 3% in this industry, then you must become a financial professional. You will never achieve that if you're just an insurance salesman or an insurance saleswoman. You will never achieve that. Knowing my products and the benefits that provide, I am able to then position the solutions to meet my clients' needs. And that's why you need to invest in knowledge. Every single one of you needs to invest in knowledge. I want everybody on this call today to please really, truly take a moment, write down on the piece of paper you have in front of you, beside you, wherever, I'm going to spend 20 minutes a day learning more about the insurance products I represent. Whether that's reading through carriers' websites about all their products. I know it's boring. Trust me, I know it's boring. I do it. Read through the carriers' websites about their products, how they work, unique features, writers. Listen, that's how you find the gems, because nobody else is doing it. Everybody else is, well, there's got to be a software that does all that. Yeah, you know what? You'll never own that knowledge. You'll never be able to pull that up in the middle of a conversation with a client if it's in a software. You never will. Spend 20 minutes a day expanding your horizons. How many of you can spend 20 minutes a day listening to a YouTube while you're driving around at some point in time in the course of a day? Are you driving to pick up a kid, grandkid, see somebody, clients? Could you spend 20 minutes of your day listening to a podcast or YouTube about some insurance product, solution, or aspect of the business?
Mm-hmm.
Then that qualifies as expanding your horizon. How many of you listen to information about trust and wills while you're driving around? How many of you are learning about tax deferred trusts and that you could use life insurance or annuity contracts to defer taxes on businesses that are sold for up to 5 years? They can literally roll the profits into an annuity that you and I can write for the next 5 years, earn interest. And so at the end of 5 years, it will cover the cost of all the taxes that would have been due. How many of you knew you could do that? Listen, this is an incredible industry. We have incredible tools. We are the kings of contract. That's what we have at our disposal. Contracts that make people wealthy, one way or the other. So you need to learn how to invest in knowledge. You need to invest in your clients. They need to know that you know what you're talking about. They don't need to know everything that you need to know. They just need to know enough to realize you are a source of information. Realize that your horizons are far broader than you thought just a few minutes ago. Begin to work over the horizon, wherever you've been, wherever you are today. There's so much more in this industry that you can do, and you will make more money by becoming that financial professional that understands where the horizon or where the land starts, right? So determine if this is the day or day one, right? Is this the day you're going to start, or is this day one of your project to become a financial professional, right? If you want to go on and get your securities license and do other things, we will support and help you with that endeavor. But I will tell you, there's so much here that you don't even need that. You really don't. There's so much more that you can do just here. And here's the part that this is why our organization is keen on education. The big organizations, the MetLifes, the Prudentials, the John Hancocks, the New York Life, they used to have great training programs for agents to go through and learn this whole process. And then when they did away with the agent model to a large extent, they did away with the education. Where can you go now to learn all these things we're talking about? The Otis is
Banker's
on
Life
you.
and Casualty.
Banker's Life. Okay.
Theirs.
I'm gonna put it out
there's
there. Go ahead.
I subscribe to the California Broker magazine, and they sponsor a long list of webinars by leaders in the industry. So I have attended a few of them, and they're really, really good. So
Excellent.
just for food for thought, California Broker magazine.
And there are so many resources out there, but the onus is on you to do it. It's on you, each and every one of you, to become those professionals. But I'll tell you what, if you become that source of knowledge, if you become that financial professional, not only will it increase your flow of information and how your clients see you, but there's an opportunity for you, each and every one of you that achieves that level, to begin sharing with agents, other agents, and creating downlines and opportunities to train that next generation. I'll tell you, there's a lot of money in that too. There's a lot of money in that because everybody's starved on how do I get ahead? How do I create a competitive advantage? And everybody runs for the same 2 or 3 doors. But I'm just shaking my head because there's another 24, there's another 100 doors you could go down, but everybody's running for the same 3. Don't run with the masses. I'm not going to complete the rest of that conversation, but don't run with the masses, right? Look at some of the other doors as an opportunity. So let's do our little report card here on it. How are you doing in your goals for this year? I'll be honest with everybody on here. I've been really busy helping a lot of you do business. I am personally behind a little bit, just being really honest with everybody. Okay. How many clients did you speak with this week? I only talked to one. How many clients did you speak with this week, David?
5.
Hey, you got an A. All right. How many clients did you talk with this week, Doug?
5 or 6 so far.
Great, great. You're
Today's
doing it.
not over though.
Today is not. That's. I love that.
I
Today
like
is
that
not
attitude.
over. There it is.
I spoke to 4 and I have 2 tomorrow.
Great effort. Great hustle. So how many of you started or how many deals have you closed? Anybody close any deals this week? I know of a couple that were closed, but anybody else close anything this week? I closed one small MIGA personally this week. Wasn't a big deal. Tom, did I see a hand go up there?
Yeah, I closed one.
All right. Hey, that's success, right? That's
Yeah.
achieving your goals. Little baby steps, but eventually we get there. Those little shuffling steps turn into strides and then turn into a full on gait and run as the year goes on. How
Tom and
many?
I are still working on H2 Health. I think we're going to get that one done next week. And I have another company now that has about 25 FedEx. It was like a FedEx. They use they have 25 drives and about 600 employees.
Ooh,
Excellent.
yeah.
So how many of you started a new marketing campaign this week? Anybody start anything new this week? Anybody?
$1,000 worth of leads so I can move into webinars.
There you go. There you go. That's good.
I'm doing the
So
same. I'm working on a webinar.
good deal. Good deal. So Clayton and I are working on the annuity replacement. We're going to do a seminar together here at the end of March or April in Indianapolis. So we're working on one with NBI, getting all of our ducks in a row on that.
NBI.
Yep. So how close are you to your financial goals for the year? Are you on track? Are you behind? Where are you at on the numbers? Anybody want to be honest about that yet?
Well, there's
Gaining traction, but not there.
in my world, there's 2 points of view, my goal and my wife's goal. And I am way behind on my wife's goal.
Smart man there. Smart man. Yeah, so I'll tell you, this is a good reminder. We're doing this as a group. Everybody on here, look, we're all sharing in this. We are encouraging you to be the very best that you can be, to change where you are today, to become what you want to be. You have to invest your time and energy. If you're not meeting your goals, why? Is it because of you? Because of your excuses? Is it because of your process? You need to take some time and reflect. And I encourage everybody, hey, after this call or whenever you get a chance, take a stroll and just think about why you've not hit your goals. Just spend some time thinking. Because when you give yourself time to respond, it's amazing how the light bulbs just start to go off and you figure out what I need to do differently. Give yourself time to think. If you're always answering the phone and always jumping to the next call, you're not giving yourself time to solve the problem. You want to say something, Clayton?
No, I fully agree with you there, Peter. I was just shaking my head in agreement.
All right, here's the hard one. When are you going to make when are you going to make the next call, the next phone call to a client? When are you going to do that?
After this meeting.
So, did anybody want to admit to wasting time this week? I know next week I'll be wasting time, but this week I've run out of time.
I think I waste time every week, to be honest. There's things that I could be better at. I mean, I'm doing a lot. I do loans too. So I just feel like for me, I get distracted because I get caught up in the back end work, the admin work, and I realized I've talked to about 10 clients this week, but I'm also like, I need to be time blocking. And that needs to be like a set appointment where I'm prospecting versus fitting it when I can.
That's great. I appreciate all the interaction here. Remember, the excuses, what are you afraid of? What's keeping you from hitting your goals? What's keeping you from success? What excuse is it? I don't feel good. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to make that call. I really don't want to talk to that person, right? What is it that's the excuse there? What's the worst thing that person can do to you? They can hang up, right? Actually, the worst thing they
Peter,
get to do is talk you ear off for the next hour and a half. But, go ahead.
there's I took the book out this morning, but there's a book small. It's called The Energy Bus. Um, great book. You could read it in about an hour or two. But I often get lost from those people who steal my time, energy vampires. And this week and last week and the week before were great examples of that. And so I took that book out this morning, started to read it again. Um, that's my biggest hurdle is controlling my own time. So if anybody
Appreciate
has a
that.
chance to get it, they should read it. It's wonderful.
So let's talk about measures of success. We talked about some of them already, but everybody applying yourself, right? Hopefully, we had some people complete CE this week.
Yep.
Hopefully, we had some people test some new marketing campaigns, right? Hopefully, people sold something this week, spoke to 10 new people about their services or about the information that you possess. Remember, most of the time when we're talking with people in the art of conversation, mastering this, it is about selling, but it's about communicating, right? If they understand that you're a financial professional, every single American right now has financial crisis going on, right? That everybody does. They just want to know, can they trust you? And do you know what you're doing for them to be able to work with you? That needs to be a part of the focus. How are you presenting yourself and communicating that you are a stable, confident, competent financial professional? I appreciate everybody that jumps on our calls and attends our classes with us. We really do appreciate that. Have you spent an hour every day reading about different products that they can sell? Once again, 20 minutes is a great place to start, but eventually you're going to want to be in that hour block in order to really keep up with all the changes that are coming and going on. And with this, I want to kind of roll out with a parting thought. Many a flower has bloomed unceasingly, and the waste its sweetness upon the cold desert air. In this poem, there's a lot of people that go unnoticed. Their talents are never seen. Their potential is never witnessed because they stop short. How many great musicians exist that we'll never hear those composers because they crumble up the paper or they push delete on the file, and we'll never get to hear those great works of art. How many of you are great financial professionals, top 10 producers in the industry, top 1% earners, but you just need to get a little bit more heart? You need a little bit more heart. You need to go just a little bit further. And I really want you to think about that, because your excuses are what are limiting you. What makes and breaks down people, that's why they have all this physical exercise with the military training, is to break people down to see who is willing to give 100% all the time. Many of these centers of higher learning, right? They have all this material you have to study. Not that any of it is really relevant to the degree or which you're going to be providing services in, but it's just to see if you can keep up and give 100% all the time. The same is true in this industry, folks. The same is true here. To give 100% all the time to what you're doing, but you're not doing it for me. You're doing it for your goals, for your family. That's what you're doing it for. And so if I can remind you every morning that you get up, take a moment to remind yourself why you're doing this business. I give thanks for this business because I can live in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, on a farm with my kids. And I get to go take a moment and go mess around with my honeybees anytime I have a break and the weather's nice. That's why I love this business. I can literally go from there and walk in and do a share screen with somebody in California or somebody in Florida or somebody in Ohio. It doesn't matter where they are. I have that privilege. I can manage my time if I want to. Why do you love this business? Remember what that is, that driving force, why you're doing this. So that when you get down, when you feel defeated or you can't take that next step, remember why you're doing this. There's no looking back. I want everybody to look forward. We don't care what's happened in the past. Those things don't define your future unless those excuses continue to come up. Take small steps to achieve success. Take small steps to achieve new habits. You're going to have to spend money in this industry. You will. There is no free lunch. And those who think that there is a free lunch will never be the people that are the top 10%. They're going to be in that lower 80% of performers. And if that's what they want, that's fine. But most of you on here, I know because we've had conversations, that's really not where you want to be on an income level, making 60,000 or less. So in order to achieve that next level, you're going to have to invest. Keep records so that you can look back and see what you did when you were having success. So when you get off track, and it will happen, when you get off track, you can go back to your notes and see what you were doing when you were having success. That's really the difference between a professional and an amateur, right? A professional winemaker keeps detailed notes so that he can repeat that recipe all the time. An amateur, they wing it. Well, let's hope this batch doesn't turn into vinegar, right? That's the difference between an amateur and a professional. How are you keeping your notes? Are you detailing your process and your steps and how the clients are responding, their attitude? Are they stepping with it? Those little details that help you to determine when you get off track, what did I do wrong? That's where you're going to fix it. That's where you're going to improve it. So with that, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Hopefully you found something encouraging out of this message here today to make your business better, that in working with us, you understand we've got a team of people here that are generally, we're all in the same direction, right? We're trying to go in the same direction. We all want to have success in this industry, in this business. And we're going to give you 100% of what we have. And we're asking nothing less of all of you. Give us 100%, please. There's a lot of money to be made in this industry. That's not a bad thing. It's a wonderful opportunity for every single one of you to be able to provide for your families. But it's going to take work. And I know some people, it's like you've been at this far longer than I've been licensed. Well, the trends have changed. The road's twisted a different direction. You're going to have to work to get back in the middle of that road. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to invest in yourself and make 2026 an incredible year, one that you can look back on and go, yep, that's when my profession changed. I went from an insurance salesperson to a financial professional. That's where I could see the change in my income, the change in the spheres of affluence that I have, people looking at me as a financial professional. Can you make that happen this year? That's the question. Can you make that happen this year for you? Andre, can you make that happen this year? Awesome.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
you guys inspire me. So, and I think one of the things that I admire about you guys here is that you're not just telling us, you guys are doing the work. Like you're actually prospecting, you're calling, you have your own, like you're working your book of business. You're not just telling us what to do, you're doing it and showing us how to do it alongside with you. And it's like kind of like getting in the mud. So that's why I appreciate just being here, just the value here. Because I mean, we know people in the industry, right? I've been offered more money to go elsewhere, and I'm like, no way, like this is gold. This is so like priceless. Like the barrier of entry for me, because I was asking these questions about 2 to 3 years into the industry, and it was so gate kept. The level of information that you're giving is so gate kept. People do not want to show other agents how to do this, and I knew it existed. I was reading books. I was like, watching things, and I'm like, I know it's out there. I just don't know anybody who knows how to do it. And you guys actually know how to do it, from the tax strategies to the high level of types of insurance and the structuring of deals, trust. You are like a walking encyclopedia. Like it's kind of like a computer, like the way your brain works. So it's like awesome because each of you have different skill sets that just really add to what I'm just giving you your flowers. You guys are amazing. Like you guys are doing great. So I just want to encourage you because I know you're
Thank
doing a
you.
lot and I know you're probably overwhelmed. You're trying to provide so much value, but I do want to give feedback in the sense like it's okay to slow down a little bit. It's okay to like take a pause and then build out what you need to build out and then implement it and then move on. And I know you have all this stuff, like all these ideas and all these things and that's great, but it's also about like enjoying the journey and just being present and being able to say, okay, we did this, we accomplished it, let's review it. This is working, great, let's move on. Like you don't have to be, because I see like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know if you're even sleeping at night, but you're doing it because you're like working and then you're doing all the back end operational and it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, I appreciate that a lot, Christy. And thank you everybody once again for joining us. This is once again we're investing in you because we're making money together. And that's the basis of this relationship, right? Everybody can agree to that. You make money, I make money when you make money. Can everybody agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So once again, if you are not doing stuff, then we're not doing our job. There's got to be some reciprocation, use of this knowledge that we're looking for. So please let us know if you're stuck in any way, shape, or form. Call Clayton, call Tim, call me, call Dallas, call one of us, please, to help you figure out how to get you out of the mud and back on track. Because the opportunity is so big and so wonderful. So thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. I'll hang back for another minute or two. Clayton, next week we have Louis Labash on with the greatest tax saver software. So this is an IUL software. If some of you have used Jerry Price's software, it's